You guys good?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, it seems like you guys went a lot of team emphasis today.
Yeah, we did. 6 practices in. We wanted just put the ball down and play some football. We didn't really get into any situational stuff. That'll kind of happen a little bit more this week, where we start working some situational things more, and so the next time we can put it down and just play a little bit and do some down and distance things. But I thought it was good. I think it's like anything else. You want to get good at playing football, you got to play football, and so we did that a bunch today, and I thought the guys played hard. I thought they had fun playing. I thought it was competitive. I thought the offense won some downs and the defense won some downs, and so it was good. Starting to see some guys emerge, which I'm excited about. Some guys maybe that you didn't know about really, maybe they hadn't had a big role in the past, and it's good to see those guys making plays and playing hard.
Do you have anybody in mind when you say
Yeah,
that?
Colt Ellison, I think, is doing some good things. Really like what he did today. Marcel Brooks is somebody who continues to make plays when he gets opportunities to do it. He's an explosive guy, and he's just got to keep learning and how to play the defense. But he can, he makes plays pretty consistently out there. So it was good to see those guys doing some things. Don Williams, I thought, did some good things for a young guy today as well. So, we'll go in and look at the tape up front, and see who played well on the offensive and defensive line. But those guys I thought showed up and have continued to show up. D. Winters, I think, has had a good spring football so far, and he's making a lot of plays as well defensively for us.
Looks like on the offensive line, you guys moved a lot of pieces around today. Is that something you guys?
Yeah, we're just going to keep doing that. I think that's the thing that you gotta figure out a way to get your best players on the field, and especially when, if you lose somebody, well then okay, you want to have a way to get the next best guy out there, and so, we're constantly trying to look at different, different groupings, where guys can go in there and bounce from center to guard or from guard to center, and from the right side to the left side. Just trying to figure out where players are most comfortable and can play their best. And again, it's always about finding the best 5 guys and finding a way for them to play.
You mentioned Dominic. Is it? Do you look at him ever and think, man, this kid should be a senior high school still?
You don't think of it that way. You got to kind of catch yourself. But yeah, look, he's 17 years old. You don't think he's even 18 yet. So, he's a big, strong guy that is very coachable and very conscientious and just works really hard. And I think he's got a bright future.
Made it worth staying up till 3:30 that morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That recruitment was wild. But yeah, I think that we had a sense of what we thought he could be, but you never really know. And then he got here, and and I think we all expected to see this. I don't know if we expected to see it this spring, but he's doing what we hoped he'd do.
Sam Jackson looks like he was taking some reps with the twos today. What have you seen?
Yeah,
from him so far?
I thought today was Sam's best day. Thought he looked good. I thought he looked comfortable. There's some things he's got to do when he leaves the pocket. Had a couple of runs today where he got forced to the sideline where I thought he could have hit it and stayed vertical and maybe had some big running plays. But he did a good job sitting in the pocket. I think today he made a step in that direction where when things broke down a little bit, he shuffled up, stayed in the pocket, found some receivers. So to me, I thought he took a big step forward today, and he's an exciting guy. He's just learning how to be more consistent, but I thought it was a good practice for him today for sure.
You look at his level of athleticism, his ability to run the football. Is there any maybe opportunity there to perhaps a special package for him?
Yeah, what's really interesting is all 3 of these quarterbacks you can really run. When you sit down and you look at the guys, Max can run, and Chandler can run, Sam obviously can run. So it's been fun to see those guys, and they're all kind of different runners. Mm-hmm. Max is more physical. Chandler has a kind of an innate ability to know where to run and how to set blocks up, and then Sam's a fast big play potential guy. So they all have some things they need to work on when it comes to running the ball, but they all 3 have an ability to pull it down and make something happen.
Have you guys remained relatively healthy through 6 practices?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, I think so, and I think a big part of that's just been, again, an emphasis on nutrition and the work habit the guys had over the off season, and taking care of their bodies. we make a lot of decisions every single day in terms of how we practice and what we're going to expose the guys to that are going to, either, hopefully keep them healthy. And so, what we've tried to do is be smart about the way we practice and to try to keep them healthy. But to me, the biggest difference has just been, the guys, the nutrition, buying into, to doing a lot of things that they're doing from a soft tissue standpoint. And we've stayed really healthy so far, knock on wood. And we're only 6 days in, but 6 practices in rather. But I like the returns so far from our strength and conditioning program and from the off season the guys had.
You guys utilize tight end quite a bit over there at SMU. What are your thoughts on that tight end so far?
Good. Yeah, I think it's a good group. I mean, there's some talent in the room. They're kind of versatile guys. They're all a little bit different in things that they bring to the table. And, the thing that we have tried to do with our offense through the years is, find ways to take advantage of what guys can do and what they're good at. And so if you've got a really good inline blocking tight end, then, stick them in there and let them block. If you've got a guy that, has a real knack for running plays over the middle of the field and understanding where to settle in zone coverage and create space and all that, then figure out a way to let them do that. And so, what I like about this group is they're all a little different. I think they all add some kind of value to what we want to do. They're all learning a little bit raw here and there, but I think the group has got a chance to really make some significant contributions to the offense. I like what they do, and I think they're working hard to improve it.
Johnny Hodges, pretty interesting story. Played lacrosse at Navy.
Yep.
I mean, he looks like he's making some plays out here.
He does, yeah. He's been consistent, and we played against him, last year when he was at Navy, and had a pick in our game. And I mean, he's a good football player, and he's one of those guys that just showed up all the time. Was kind of in the right spot and made a lot of plays. And you see him; he's kind of a big guy, but he's a little more athletic than you think he might be. And he's got a knack for being able to find the football. And he's a big, strong guy, plays physical, and I think he's really smart and understands the game.
You look at him, you think he's a middle linebacker. I mean, but you've got to play him on the outside. Is he naturally better there?
I think it's like anything else. I mean, he's got a skill set that, again, he kind of looks one way, but he's got some stuff that allows him to do some different things. And so, the good thing is the linebacker position is a lot like the tight end position, where you kind of figure out, okay, this is what these guys can do, and let's figure out a way to get them in a spot to allow them, to play their strengths and stay away from their weaknesses. And so, there'll be a little bit of musical chairs probably at linebacker in terms of moving somebody here or there, just based on, what we continue to see over the spring. But, the job number one for coaches is don't ever ask somebody to do something they can't do. And I think that's the whole thing when it comes to your scheme, is you got to figure out how to, put the guys in position where, they don't have to do something that they're not capable of. And if they can't do it, that's not their fault. That's your fault as a coach. And so we've got to make sure that we're putting our guys in good positions to be successful.
Corner TCU for the longest time was really just expected to be in man coverage most of the time. It's a little bit different with Gillespie. How have you seen those guys progressing so far?
Good. I think it's, the good thing about this defense is they're going to have a chance to do everything. And we'll get through spring and see, kind of what our strengths are in our defense and adjust our scheme accordingly. And, the group is athletic. I think that, the guys are playing the ball well. I think they're learning. It's a little bit different than maybe they've done in the past. But what I like about that group is they're willing to tackle. The guys are tough, have a little bit of an edge to them, and that's what we got to make sure we keep that.
How big was it to get a guy like Trey Tomlinson to come back this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a good football player, and he brings an energy and a confidence, to the defense that, that is contagious. And so, he likes to compete. He's not scared of anything, and I think that's kind of step one when it comes to being a great football player, especially a corner. It's just a belief in yourself, and you're going to give up some plays. That's going to happen, and just have an ability to be able to move on and play the next play. And he's got a great mentality that way.
You guys are nearing the halfway point, Coach. Have you found guys that are stepping up, being vocal, being those leaders?
Yeah,
that you've been looking for?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you want to have, you know, I think it's so important to have leadership come out of your offensive line. You know, those guys are just, to me, they've always set the standard really for the team in a lot of ways. Just the personality of those guys, and so I think that group is starting to come along. We're starting to see some leadership happen from that group. You know, there's some guys that have been here before. You know, the D Winners, guys like that. You see some leadership as well, but then you also see it from guys like Mark Perry, you know, on the back end, who's a newcomer. You know, who's really vocal and does a great job communicating, and again, has played a lot of football. And so, you know, it's good to see those guys step up and start to figure the scheme out, start to play with confidence, and provide some leadership.